Angel by Paul Darmafall, also known as the Baltimore Glassman. It is an early spring morning in 1988, and my wife Victoria and I are beginning a weekend drive from Baltimore, Maryland into Pennsylvania. The fog of the cool morning has not yet lifted as we pass yet another nondescript block of bars, sub-shops, and crab houses along Erdman Avenue. Before getting on the freeway, I glance through the haze and see a sparkling, glittering marching soldier. A quick, closer look reveals that the soldier is a life-size image created on a large board using broken glass. Now approaching the freeway entrance, I recall having recently heard about the Baltimore Glassman, a reclusive, vagabond artist working on the roadside in Baltimore. We realized that this must be his work and vow to return. Unbeknownst to me at the time, the Glassman had, as he intended, caught my eye with his glittering roadside sign. We returned very soon, and a lifelong friendship would follow, which would shape my understanding of outsider art and this exceptional artist. Paul Darmafall, known as the Baltimore Glassman, was born in Moundsville, West Virginia in the mid-1930s. According to Paul, Moundsville is so named because it is built on the site of a Native American burial mound. Paul was always vague when questioned about his life. Over many conversations, he referred to serving in the Navy during the Korean War and working in the shipyard and factories in Baltimore. He always preferred to talk about his signs and his view of the world that they reflected. Paul considered his creations to be roadside signs through which he attempts to communicate a message or get the word out to the public. According to Paul, his work was primarily a teaching medium rather than a creative or artistic one. He had no interest in discussing the artistic merits of his work, only being interested in your understanding of its message. He did not think of himself as an artist and was perplexed by anyone who approached his work from that perspective. Since they were indeed signs, he hung them from a chain-link fence behind his sidewalk studio for passing motorists to see, just as we had that one early morning. The glittering glass was meant to catch your eye as you drove by. Paul's signs express idiosyncratic but highly consistent, strongly held inner beliefs. The basis for many of his ideas are the Constitution of the United States and the Bible. From these, Paul developed his very personal ideas about life and the world. His basic themes focus on independence, self-sufficiency, liberty, and freedom, particularly freedom from authority, technology, and outside influence. Paul looks for confirmation of his ideas in the lyrics of the popular music of his youth, newspaper advertisements, movies, and literature. His sensitive perceptions of the world seek out these connections, only apparent to him, but available to others through his signs. He often includes written text referencing these connections as part of the sign. His themes, the juxtaposition of images and text, and his use of found materials make his work compelling. However, while Paul Darmafall would spend much of his time espousing his thoughts, for instance, about the threats of electricity and the need for fresh air, he often tempered his insistent monologues by saying, "I stand to be corrected." Outsider artists are often thought of as working in reclusive isolation, removed from contact with others and their influences. There are, however, outsider artists for whom the creative process is conducted in public spaces, where close and regular contact with the world is unavoidable. For some, like Darmafall, whose work was about communicating his ideas, this seems essential. Of course, influence and communication is reciprocal, and over the years we developed a fuller relationship with Paul, which extended beyond his simply talking at us about his work. We came to know him as a friend with something to teach us about the world and making one's place in it. The sign featured here is a tour de force of Darmafall's work. The angel, composed of broken glass, reflectors, glitter, and paint on a discarded board, is beautiful, powerful, and foreboding. Paul would refer to winged creatures, such as angels, as expressing ideals of freedom. That is the meaning and message of this sign. The song that he references in the text is called Red Wing, written in 1907 by Mills and Calloway. The lyric of the song includes, "Now the moon shines through on pretty red wing. The breeze is sighing, the night bird's crying, for afar beneath his star, her brave is sleeping, while Red Wing is weeping her heart away." Red Wing is a polka and bluegrass standard that Paul would sometimes play on his harmonica. This 1941 version of Red Wing is performed by Joe Stafford and Paul Weston. I am certain that Paul Darmafall was drawn by the Native American themes, the song's forlorn lyric, and of course, its references to wings.
Sang a love song gay as on the plain. She'd while away the day. She loved a warrior bold, the shy little maid of old. But brave and gay he rode one day to battle far away. Now the moon shines tonight on pretty Red Wing. The breeze is sighing, the night bird's crying, and far neath the star her brave is sleeping, while Red Wing's weeping her heart away. She watched for him day and night. She kept all the campfires bright, and under the sky each night she would lie and dream about his coming by and by. But when all the braves returned, the heart of Red Wing yearned, and far, far away her warrior gay fell bravely in the fray. Now the moon shines tonight on pretty Red Wing. The breeze is sighing, the night bird's crying, and far 'neath a star her brave is sleeping, while Red Wing's weeping.